Why this light is never nothing. The check engine light is one of the most misunderstood warnings in modern cars. For some drivers, it causes instant panic. For others, it becomes background noise, something they ignore for weeks, sometimes months. The truth sits somewhere in between. This light doesn't mean your car is about to break down, but it also never turns on without a reason. What most people don't realize is that the check engine light isn't triggered by damage. It's triggered by data. Your car is constantly monitoring hundreds of parameters: airflow, fuel delivery, combustion quality, emissions efficiency, electrical stability. When something falls outside expected values, even slightly, the system flags it. Sometimes the cause is minor. Sometimes it's the first warning of a failure that hasn't happened yet. In this video, we're counting down 13 hidden, real-world reasons why the check engine light appears. Reasons mechanics see every day, but most drivers never fully understand. We're starting with the most overlooked causes, and working our way to the one that triggers this light more than anything else. Number 13. ECU software conflicts and logic errors. Modern cars don't just run on fuel and spark. They run on software. Your engine control unit processes information from dozens of sensors simultaneously. Sometimes those sensors don't fail, they simply disagree. A brief mismatch in expected values can trigger a fault even when nothing is physically broken. This often happens after battery replacement, voltage drops, cold starts, or short trips. The system sees something it doesn't fully understand and logs an error. To the driver, everything feels normal. To the ECU, something didn't add up. Manufacturers quietly fix many of these issues through software updates. But until that happens, the check engine light stays on, making the problem look far more serious than it actually is. Number 12. Electrical voltage instability. Every sensor in your car depends on stable electrical power. When voltage drops or fluctuates, sensor readings become unreliable. The ECU doesn't know whether the problem is mechanical or electrical. It only knows the data is wrong. A weak battery, a tired alternator, a corroded ground cable. Any of these can cause momentary voltage instability that triggers fault codes. This is why some check engine lights appear randomly and disappear later. The engine isn't failing. The system supporting it is. Number 11. Engine and transmission communication errors. In modern vehicles, the engine and transmission operate as a single system. They constantly exchange information: speed, load, torque demand, gear position. When one side sends data the other doesn't expect, the ECU assumes something is wrong. A failing transmission speed sensor or pressure sensor can trigger the check engine light, even when the car shifts smoothly and drives normally. Drivers often blame the engine, while the real issue hides deeper in the drivetrain. Number 10. Exhaust leaks that don't make noise. Not all exhaust leaks sound dramatic. Small leaks before the oxygen sensors allow outside air to enter the exhaust stream. This extra oxygen fools the sensors into thinking the engine is running lean. The ECU responds by adding fuel. Fuel economy drops, emissions increase, and eventually the check engine light turns on, even though the engine feels fine. Because these leaks are quiet and invisible, they often go unnoticed for months. Number 9. EVAP system failures beyond the gas cap. The EVAP system captures fuel vapors and prevents them from escaping into the atmosphere. It includes hoses, valves, seals, and pressure sensors. If any part leaks or sticks, the system detects abnormal pressure and flags a fault. The engine still runs perfectly. No strange noises. No loss of power. That's why EVAP-related check engine lights are among the most ignored, even though they're extremely common. Number 8. Wrong engine temperature data. Your engine makes critical decisions based on temperature, fuel delivery, ignition timing, emissions control. All of it depends on knowing whether the engine is cold, warming up, or fully hot. That information comes from the coolant temperature sensor. When this sensor starts sending inaccurate data, the engine doesn't know how to behave. It may inject too much fuel when it's already warm, or too little fuel during a cold start. The result is inefficient combustion increased emissions, and unnecessary stress on internal components. What makes this problem dangerous is how invisible it is. The dashboard temperature gauge can look perfectly normal, while the ECU detects conflicting information in the background. Eventually, the system flags the inconsistency, and the check engine light appears. Number 7. Mass airflow sensor contamination. Every breath your engine takes is measured. The mass airflow sensor sits at the entrance of the intake system, calculating exactly how much air enters the engine. That data determines how much fuel is injected. Over time, oil vapor, dust, and microscopic debris coat the sensor element. Even a thin layer is enough to skew readings. The engine begins to hesitate. Throttle response becomes inconsistent. Fuel economy slowly drops. The driver may adapt without realizing it, but the ECU sees imbalance immediately and activates the warning. Number 6. Vacuum leaks and unmetered air. Modern engines are sealed systems. Every molecule of air entering the engine is supposed to be measured. When vacuum hoses crack, gasket harden, or seals fail, unmetered air sneaks in. The ECU tries to compensate by adjusting fuel delivery, but there's a limit to how much correction is possible. Once those limits are exceeded, a fault is recorded. Sometimes the engine idles roughly, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, the check engine light turns on to warn that the engine is no longer operating within control parameters. Number 5. Gradual ignition failure. Ignition systems rarely fail all at once. Spark plugs were down slowly. Ignition coils weaken over time. Electrical resistance increases little by little. The result is partial misfires, combustion events that don't fully ignite the fuel mixture. Often, the driver doesn't feel anything unusual, but the ECU monitors combustion quality with extreme precision. It counts misfires cylinder by cylinder, cycle by cycle. Once the misfire threshold is crossed, the check engine light comes on, long before serious damage occurs. Ignoring this warning can overheat the catalytic converter and multiply repair costs dramatically. Number 4. Oxygen sensors losing accuracy. Oxygen sensors are constantly exposed to extreme heat. They operate in an environment filled with exhaust gases, fuel residue, and contaminants. Over time, their response slows and accuracy degrades. When oxygen sensors become lazy or inaccurate, fuel control suffers. The engine runs richer than necessary, emissions increase, and the catalytic converter works harder than it should. The driver may not notice any immediate symptoms, but the ECU does, and it responds with a warning. Number 3. Catalytic converter efficiency drop. The catalytic converter isn't just a passive filter, it's actively monitored. The ECU compares data from oxygen sensors before and after the converter to measure how efficiently it reduces emissions. When that efficiency drops below acceptable limits, a fault is triggered. This can be caused by age, overheating, oil consumption, or prolonged misfires. What makes this issue especially dangerous is that performance often remains unchanged until the converter becomes severely restricted or fails completely. Number 2. Misfires under load. Some engine problems only appear when the engine is under stress. Hard acceleration, climbing hills, carrying heavy loads. Under these conditions, weak ignition components or fuel delivery issues reveal themselves. The driver may never notice anything during gentle driving, but the ECU detects repeated misfires under load and logs them. By the time the check engine light turns on, the system has already seen the pattern. Number 1. The gas cap that everyone underestimates. The most common cause is also the most underestimated. Modern fuel systems are sealed and constantly pressure tested. A loose, cracked, or improperly sealed gas cap allows fuel vapors to escape. Even a tiny leak is enough to fail emissions monitoring. The result? A check engine light that looks just as serious as a major engine failure, caused by something that takes 5 seconds to fix. The check engine light isn't designed to scare you. It's designed to warn you early, before small problems turn into expensive failures. Most drivers lose money not because their car is unreliable, but because they wait too long to act. They assume the light means nothing until it suddenly means everything. If this video helped you understand what your car is actually trying to tell you, let me know by hitting the like button. It helps this channel reach other drivers who might be ignoring the same warning right now. And I want you to comment below. Tell me what car you drive and whether your check engine light is currently on or has turned on recently. Those comments help shape future videos and show which issues are happening most often. If you don't want to keep guessing every time a warning light appears, subscribe to the channel. New videos come out regularly, breaking down car problems in a way that actually saves you money, without panic and without myths. You don't want to learn that lesson the expensive way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.